Hello and welcome to Beyond the Ball. Looking forward to the interview this week. Very excited about Paul Byrne we have. I'm joined by Colly this week. I was sick last week, so it's good to be back. Hey Colly, how are you? You managed without me?
You were just about to come on, and you fucking ran to the shitter, and then all of a sudden you disappeared. You were gone from the podcast that week. So what can I do? Like, I had no choice.
Yeah.
You know,
I couldn't sit here and do the pod with shit in my pants, so I had to just leave it. But no, as I said, we have Mr. Paul Byrne with us today. Played for Celtic, scored against Rangers, Northern Ireland Player of the Year, in many Irish squads, all through youth level up to being in the squad with Jack Charlton. Really, really, really excited to have him on today. So I'd like to welcome Paul Byrne. Hello, Paul. How are you?
How are you, lads? How are you doing?
Yeah, great. Listen, look, thanks very much for coming on the podcast. Absolutely delighted to have you on. I'm sure we're going to hear some great stories from you. But I suppose, how are you? And are you doing anything in football at the moment?
No, nothing at football at the moment. To be honest with you, I came a little bit disillusioned with the game. People say, you know, the sort of quality player that you were and what you did in the field and what you didn't do and all that sort of stuff. And I felt that a lot to offer, but I felt that during my career, I sort of let too many people down, to be honest. Became sort of a little bit untrusted, if that's the word you're looking for. And people wouldn't trust you to do a certain job. And I think that's why I probably haven't been offered maybe League of Ireland manager's job, where I had to go to England to manage Hemel Hempstead in the non-league over there, and done quite well.
Yeah.
Headed out to the States. You couldn't go any further. To be honest, to get a coaching job.
Wow.
But I enjoyed that as well out there, and got teams to the playoff finals out there too. And I've always said the type of thing that, like, Irish football will never move forward with dinosaurs, and I think we're starting to move forward a little bit now with the younger managers coming through. Obviously, Stephen Kenny's put the ball rolling for that. He came in probably one of the youngest managers at Longford. He set the ball up for that. And O'Leary followed Pat, Nutsy Fennon, and people like that, so on and so on. So, long may it continue with young Irish players finishing their careers and getting their coaching badges and having something to look forward to at the end of their footballing careers, because it's a game that you grow up loving and it's a major part of your life. And when it's taken away from you so quickly, and you haven't got that little bit of fame anymore, that's when sort of you see the sort of the depression kicking in with a lot of players nowadays that we talk about, which we don't think we talk about enough. But that's basically, in a nutshell, the answer to that question is no, I'm not involved, because people obviously still think I'm 26.
Well, you see, that's amazing. Like you see how it's only over the last, say, 5-10 years that I suppose the picture on mental health and people's well-being and is really being looked after. Like, and I suppose you'd like to hope that young players nowadays are being looked after much better, because I think when you started playing, like you're one story, but there's so many players that probably just weren't handled correctly, when they should have been. And I suppose is there. Do you think that when you were brought in at a young age, you were kind of just left to your own devices and you weren't given the support you probably needed as a young man?
Well, very much so.
You're probably away from your home and stuff.
Well, I left home at 13. I was an apprentice at Oxford at 14. Just going 13, I went and moved away. Put me through a little bit of schooling over there. I didn't like that. I didn't like it here, so I wasn't going to like it over there. I just wanted to be a footballer. I started being an apprentice at 14, became a pro at 16. When you could do these things back then, and learned my trade through cleaning John Hollins's boots and Ray Houghton's boots at Oxford, and eventually broke into the first team when I was 16 and made quite a few appearances for Oxford before I left at 19. Or fucked out, as people thought.
That's brilliant.
Paddy, we jump on to the question section straight away,
yes.
Because we have a few questions that were sent in from the Instagram followers. So I think we'll jump on to them, right? They're all right. They've gone easy on you. So we'll jump on to them, right? And then we'll go back onto your career then. So I'm going to just take us into the question section. Hope you're impressed with the production value, Paul. Now everybody says it. Like, just waiting for that
Top notch,
compliment.
lads. Top notch.
Right.
Soccer Ian better be nervous.
Shitting themselves. You've already had a shit last week. You're up.
Right, so we'll jump on to the first one. This is from Murray Martin 10. He's from one of the podcasts that we know, the Did You Hear show. So he said, how difficult was life after football? Again, we kind of just mentioned it there. The first few years out of the game must be tough. So how did you find it, Paul? Did you kind of, was it kind of you were sitting there going, right, what do I do now? And were you looking at so many different options, or did you just think, right, that's me wiped with football now?
No, as I said to you earlier on, I was looking forward to it. I wasn't looking forward to returning because I returned very early. I started early and returned very early. Roamed around a few clubs towards the end. I knew it was coming to the end, and then you end up playing the likes of Kilkenny and games like that. And I just felt I knew it was coming to the end. But I felt then, finishing then, I felt there's still a lot to give. That I would have loved to be an assistant manager or go on to be a manager. And one of the main reasons why I didn't, because I felt at the time I got so many knockbacks that, people saying, oh, do your badges. And I'd done up to me B license badge, and people say, oh, do your A and get your pro license. And I'd be saying to them, oh, why? For what? Yeah. Well, you need them to become a manager. Well, who's going to employ me? There was no point of wasting my 2 years of my time getting these badges if no one's only going to give you a sniff or even, even with the knowledge that with the managers I played under, players I played with, how I learned the game myself, to be able to go on, exciting to be able to go on and maybe teach young lads how to play the game in the same way, basically, taking street football to grassroots. And what I mean is, like, if I had a pound for every time someone said to me, a coach in Ireland when I was growing up, don't kick the ball with the outside of your foot. But I made a living out of that. I took corner kicks and free kicks with the outside of my right foot. So, obviously I didn't listen to, I don't think I listened to many managers, but maybe that's what got me into trouble. I didn't lick too many arses and just didn't listen. But running to school with a ball, the old orange champion balls, hitting it off the pad out so the boot 1-2, getting it back. You run back up the road the opposite way, you do it with the left foot. But a lot of people say you couldn't kick with your left foot and you couldn't head, but I think I've done all right.
I think you'll make a career. I think you've proved them wrong, actually. Paddy, do you want to jump on to the next one?
Yes. Okay. So this is from Grey Squirrel. If you could pick one coach from today to be coached by, who would it be, and who do you think would suit your style of play best?
Ooh, now that's a good one. It's a tough one. You'd want to get a manager that likes footballers, basically, because I class myself as a footballer. I had good touch, good vision, good pass, could strike a ball. A lot of people say I wasn't the quickest, but if you're quick up here, it gives you that yard. That was sort of my game. The manager, Genie. I would probably say Pep.
I was thinking that
as a baller, as part of a team like that, and looking at Grealish and stuff like that, I was maybe that type of player myself back in the day. Maybe a little 10 role, little night runner role, going across the front, sitting behind in front of the midfield and in behind the front two. Well, Pep would be one, but one that really probably would bash me around a little bit. One of my own managers, Roddy Collins. He probably got the best out of me when I came home because I'd given up, and Roddy is Roddy, as you all know, and he sort of like got it back into me and got the belief back into me and got the fire back in my belly through. And Roddy, admit this, he's not probably the best coach in the world, but as a motivator and as a man, and to make you feel that 10 foot tall, he really helped me. And with the ability that I had, was really extraordinary how he got the best out of me for the last few years. But Pep and Roddy.
That's cool.
Right.
I'll jump on to the next one. Do you want to? Sorry, you have something else on that?
No, just to follow on from that. Like, what type of manager did you react well to, and I suppose react poorly to? Like, did you like a disciplinarian, or would you have preferred somebody that just let you express yourself and do your own thing?
Well, the thing was, Liam Brady bought me, and he let me express myself.
Yeah.
Lou McCarty came in then. He seen the ability, but he knew I needed to work on other things to get the best of my ability. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So basically, the fitness he was getting me, had the nutritionist. He had me, doing all the right things. Had me doing the extra training. So he knew once he got me fit, I was a player. And to be honest, that really proved in the 2-3 years that I was with Celtic, because I was in the first team. Another little manager that helped me out when I first went there in the reserves, an old goalkeeper, Celtic goalkeeper, was a fella called Frank Connor. Frank used to always say, "You're up that pitch, you Irish bastard, break your jaw." You know. So when he said that, but he had the likes of Charlie Nichols and Frank McAvenny and all these players before, and he made them into Celtic greats, and they went on to better their careers. And to be fair, Frank took me under his wing a little bit, even though he didn't break my jaw, but he made me run.
when you kind of look at like managers that have like done certain things with certain players, you kind of just have to trust the process, don't you? Like it's one of them things where you have to get the best out of him. Surely he can do the same for me, and you have to just believe it. Like,
yeah, but you know, I look at Sky Sports. I'm sure all my pals, Paul McNally, Tony Sheridan, you know, Carl Wilson, all them boys, we're all looking at Sky Sports now, and I'm nearly sure, you know, that they're looking at it and saying, "Fuck, you know, there's certain players out there today that wouldn't lace their boots. If I only could have done this, or I should have done that." And I think that's what you try and teach the kids nowadays. You know, do it now and don't regret it down the line. You know, when you have an opportunity to be a professional footballer, do it right. We didn't get looked after, and this is not having a go at the FEI or the PFEI or whoever who's in charge of all this blarney at the moment. Is like, we let people sell the players to England and agents make some money, but what have they got when they come back?
Yeah,
you know, and you've got nobody looking after their finances. They come home, they're back living in the mother's house. The outlet is shouting, his pride has gone down the drain because his son he's been down the pub bragging, having these 2 or 3 points. My son is over in Forest, he's doing this and doing that. 2 years later, he's home, he's living in his house. You're not living in this house, go and get a job, this, that, and the other. So it's a little bit of a spiral, and then the depression kicks in, and then you get into the wrong company, and so on and so on and so on, and kids just fade away the wayside. We just need to do a little bit more that when we send the kids away, that we have something for them when they come back. Whether if they're disillusioned with football completely, we'll find them a course in the college where they go and educate themselves on a different career path.
Absolutely.
Or we have a training camp out in the FAI every morning for different age groups or lads who come home from England. You train them every day, you retrain them. They might be a late developer, they might have been homesick, whatever it was. You might find that spark in their belly again. You might get that chance to get away in England again. And that's what we should be doing and looking after them instead of letting them just fall away the wayside. But that's my opinion.
Should that be something for the clubs to do as well in terms of while you're there? Because I suppose there's a lot of free time as a footballer. When you're not training, you're not playing a game, you're probably left to your own devices, which is probably a dangerous thing as well as a young man. You know, you're left to do whatever you want. So should that be the club to make those opportunities available to you, like say college courses and the likes? Do you think that would be a good idea for the clubs to do?
1,000,000%, and I'm sure they do. But I would say 85% of young lads that go away, all they want to be is footballers. College and re-educating themselves it's not even in them. They're not even thinking about this at 17 or 18. And then before they know it, it's 19 or 20, and it's too late. You're back playing League of Ireland. Now, no disrespect to the League of Ireland. No, they brought some talent through to some great games, great managers, great coaches. The league is getting stronger. They're letting new managers get the opportunities now. They're giving people things to look forward to, doing their licenses because they have a chance of getting a manager's job. You know, whereas before, the managers, no disrespect, went around in roundabouts. You know, if he lost one job here, he went there. If he lost a job, he went there. So now you've got these young up-and-coming managers coming through with all their licenses and their badges who have played the game in England, played top-level League of Ireland, and now they're getting a chance to educate young kids to adapt to League of Ireland before they go away. So they have the experience of both being away and League of Ireland, and it's a great. You know.
That's good. We have Larry Matney on now next week, and he was a football educator, obviously, and I think we'll put that same kind of thing to him, Paddy, because it is something maybe that he could even look into and talk about to the FAI, because I know he's kind of involved with a couple of them. But yeah, no, definitely it's you're on the right fucking path to going somewhere. Like.
Yeah, I'm not creating the wheel here or anything like that. I'm sure there's other people out there that think the same, but let's make it happen. You know, I know the FAI are struggling a little bit financially and stuff like that. You know, let's make it happen. Let's you know, when these kids go away, let's monitor them. Let's phone up their clubs. How you doing? A little phone call. Have a little someone there. How are you getting on this week? You know, I'm a little bit down. I miss home. All right, we do a video link between you and them, or whatever it is. Or if you know if they're coming towards the end of their career over there, and the English club don't want them, or the Scottish club don't want them anymore. Well, 4 months before the end of the contract, say, well, what do you owe this kid in wages? fix it up, put it into a fund back home. We take him home, we'll put him on a course, and we re-educate him, or we'll put him on a footballing course. That few bob that the club own can go into a little course over here. And he can maybe train for 6 months or something on that course. Probably pay the coach to coach them to get them back to where they want to really be, but when ready at that particular time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah, brilliant. Here, I'll jump on to the next one then. So, someone trying to stir the pot maybe here. JCon23, was there any footballer or manager you never got on with and would always have arguments with?
Them all.
It was probably short there. Is there any that you did
all,
get on with?
If that's a smart question, if that's a smart question, there's a smart answer. Them all. I used to love them. They hated me.
Yeah, exactly. Paddy, do you want to jump on?
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, okay. Your thoughts on Stephen Kenny and the Irish setup now? And I suppose maybe as opposed to when you were involved.
Right. If I was playing today, I'd probably have 70 caps, but that's beside the point. I played with Stephen Kenny, the schoolboy at Bluebell. All right. Yeah. And he actually came on trial with me in Oxford.
In Oxford, yeah. I heard that.
But a lot of people say he came to keep me company, but that's not true. He actually did get a trial. But no, he's a great bloke. He's proven record in League of Ireland on the players, how he got the respect, the management he got underneath them, the nutritionists, the fitness coaches. He done the package. He done it right. He got the financial package from the club. They supported him. He put a good unit together, put a good team together. Even when they were successful, Stephen was able to control the players. Nobody ever sort of drifted out and thought they were bigger. When he had Richie Towell and all them lads, he kept them all together. That's a skill in itself. Stephen is doing a fantastic job in the Ireland team at the moment with the players that he has. It's not as if he has a checkbook there for 200 million. He can go out and pick what player he wants. Exactly. He's got to pick the players that's in front of him and pick the best team at the moment. Is it good enough at the moment? I don't think so. But will Stephen Kenny improve it and get there in the way that he wants? I think so.
Yeah, I think it's we've always kind of highlighted on this podcast. Like at the very start, I'll be honest, I was a massive kind of I was a skeptic on whether his tactics would work for this team. But like you're starting to see good performances now, which is it's promising. Like, and you're seeing good players coming through. So you have to just it's like that whole thing. You have to trust the process. The last couple of games, even the performances against Portugal for me was more impressive than say the 3-0 win or whatever against fucking Luxembourg or whoever it was, Montenegro. No, it's the performances that I want to see against them big teams at a consistent level. But
the thing that worries me at the moment is, look, if anyone knows me, they know I shoot from the hip, and basically what I think, Packy is back involved with the FAI at the moment. Packy Bonner is very good friends with Chris Houghton, so you can bet your bottom dollar that he'd be fighting every tooth and nail he can. Right. That if Stephen Kenny doesn't get it right, he'd be the one that'd be pushing Stephen to the left and bringing Chris in with the right. Yeah. That's my opinion. But that's just the person that he is. That's what he done on me. As I spoke to you earlier on before the show, if you're good enough for Jack Charlton and you're playing with the top players, or you're playing with Liam Brady, under 21 matches against the likes of Liam Brady and Kevin Moran and Frank Stapleton and people like that, and then you go to one of the biggest clubs in the world, in my eyes, which is the Celtic Football Club, perform to the best of your ability, to be the fittest you ever can and not get in. The link there was Packy and Mick, and Mick McCarthy didn't even give me a phone call, hello, a goodbye, kiss me arse, nothing. You were dropped out of the Jack squad. I wasn't even involved. I was at the top of my game. So what more can a man do?
Yeah, exactly. There's only so much. There's only so much that one person could do. Paddy, I'll move on to the next one. So we have one in from Shane Kavanagh. Is there a specific age you think is a cut-off point for people going abroad? This is kind of changed, I think, though, because with I'm saying Brexit. I think it's Brexit now. You have to be nearly 18. I think it's 17 or 18 to go over. So that has kind of changed, I suppose. Whereas maybe when we were playing, or when yourself was playing, Paul, like you probably would have been looking to go over 14, 15. You would have wanted to be getting scouted at that stage anyway, wouldn't you? Like,
yeah. Well, look, there's a couple of things I have on that point. Is that schoolboy football back then was producing. We played football in the schoolyards. We played football on the streets. We went training twice a week with our football clubs. the schoolboy leagues were run up Fran Ray and all the boys, fantastic leagues, every ages, every level, every standard. And that's been taken away now because of the League of Ireland clubs at junior level now taking like 10, 11, 12, 13s, 14s. So it's taken away from our schoolboy football a little bit, where the cream over the years, over the last maybe 50 years, 60 years, came from. And now with play, and this is my opinion, is that these leagues are starting up now so the clubs can own these young kids, develop them the what way they want, and then they can sell them when they're 18. Now, the Brexit thing has a lot to do with it as well, but it's now that the League of Ireland clubs have the kids now from 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, bring them up to the age of 18 and then sell them off and put the money back into a League of Ireland instead of going back into the schoolboy pots, which I find a little bit sad, really. You know, maybe it's the way forward. I don't know. Professionally, to try and make League of Ireland better, but we're leaving the roots, the grassroots behind a little bit.
There has to be a structure really there. Like I don't see a proper structure. Like what you were saying there. Like they build them up to a certain age, sell them off, make their money. But like, are they really investing that money correctly to develop the whole nation as a footballing nation, rather than just, I suppose, your individual club, or else your kind of your league or something?
Well, you're not looking after the nation. You'd be looking after your own club to make your own club, domestic football. I think what the whole thing about it was is trying to make the domestic football stronger.
Yeah.
Which is the League of Ireland. And I'm not taking anything away from League of Ireland. I'm not taking away from any, clubs. What they're trying to do is people have a Bohemians, my old club, are doing a fantastic job. They're football in the community. It's all great. I'm just saying it's very sad what's being left behind, which is the genuine schoolboy football where we came from.
Yeah. Yeah. Paddy, do you want to jump on to the next one there?
Yeah, this is the last one now. I suppose it's one from ourselves. We'll be doing this to every guest that comes on. More of a lighthearted one, but if your house was on fire and you had to run and grab two things from your career, what would they be and why?
Two things would be me. Well, I've got loads of caps now, you know that though, so I probably wouldn't be able to carry them all out, you know what I mean?
One could be a briefcase of caps then.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'd probably take the Celtic and Rangers jersey, the number 7 jersey that I wore against Rangers at Ibrox and scored the equaliser with the outside in the boot, would probably be one of the jerseys that I'd grab. I wouldn't be quick enough to grab anything else.
That's all.
That's where it's bed.
The second thing, I can only use one. You know what I mean? I can't. Wouldn't get me little brain. Wouldn't get me around. I'll just grab one thing and run.
Grab a jacket on the way out or something. Keep you warm.
Yeah, I'd already have that on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, I suppose we'll jump off the question section, Paddy. We'll just go back to the normal thing. So you want to jump in on your
yeah. So I suppose you played with an awful lot of clubs. For you, what was the best part of your career? What was the best club you were at, or even international level? Where did you feel most comfortable as a footballer, enjoy yourself the most?
Well, do you know, I actually loved my time at Oxford.
Right.
It's where I learned my trade. You know, I was playing football with Steve Foster. We used to wear the headband. We played in the cup final for Brighton against Manchester United. I was playing with the likes of Steve Foster and stuff like that. And I was a bit too young for Ray and John. They were there before me, but even though I was at a young age, I was cleaning their boots. Oxford put a foundation in for me, and I went on to play a right few games for Oxford, and I loved it. And it gave me that appetite to want to be a footballer, playing in front of decent crowds at 16 and the first team, and I was playing against Newcastle, and I was playing against Spurs and Arsenal when I was a young lad. Things I used to watch on Match of the Day with my dad, and all of a sudden then I'm part on Match of the Day on a Saturday night. People coming home to the pub, having their ham sandwiches and watching.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it was great for me to look at it and then be part of it. But yeah, I was very young, and as I said to you, a lot of my trade was laying on the streets. Good friends, Mark O'Neill, went away. Mark Reid went to Huddersfield. Alan McCann went to Brighton. We had a lot of players on our street, on one road. A lot of players that actually developed together and actually went away, and it was good times as a kid. And going to Oxford, then I went to Arsenal, and I was playing with the likes of Paul Merson, Ray Parlour, David Hilliard, Anders Limpard. Smith, everyone who was injured coming down, dropping out of the first team into the reserves, and I was getting better and better all the time because I was playing with better players.
Yeah, you learn from what you're playing with, nearly, don't you? Like,
yeah, you know, I was people say I was a baller, you know, and I used to love playing with people that could read the way you could play the game. Like if you flicked one around the corner, you knew that once you flicked around the corner and volleyed, it was just going to be late. Yeah, you're going to get it back, and you could make things happen then. Yeah. And I used to love that. And then came home. I could have went to Northampton Town with Theo Foley. Theo came into the story afterwards. He ended up being Ronnie Whelan's assistant manager. He's dead now, God rest him. Theo, he asked me to go to Northampton, and I felt, you know, I was away since I was 13. I'd like to go home a little bit and experience life at home a little bit. I did, and I signed for a club up in the north called Bangor. A fella called Jimmy Jackson from Belgrade, over in Bushy Park there. And Jimmy says to me, look, you know, I think I have a little club for you. I think you really like it up there. And I went, and he took me under the wing. And in that year, I finished top goal scorer for the club. I think I got 23 goals that year. The awards then at the end of that season, the Writers Junior, the Writers Senior, the Players Junior, Players Senior.
Wow.
And I scored the winning goal in the Bassers Cup final. Georgie Best gave me trophies on the night, which was a good night, by the way.
Totally unreal.
Wow. So, and then I signed a 2.5-year deal.
Did you have a drink with him?
Yeah, I couldn't keep up with him, but I gave it a good go. I'm still here. But, to make it worse, the next day he brought me to a little place in across from the train station, and I ended up meeting Alex Higgins. So it was me, him, and Alex Higgins in the pub. I still had my tuxedo on. I was at the losing hand, my trophies. But yeah, so yeah, but I ended up winning all those awards. It's never been done before, and never be done again because they don't do those awards anymore. And I signed a 2.5-year deal at Celtic, and it's a fantastic time coming from, you know, getting a second chance from Oxford, and then signing for one of the biggest clubs in the world of my eyes. When I say in the world, because it's a Celtic family, and they still welcome me open arms. We play a lot of, you know, charity matches. I've been traveling away there before.
You played in the Masters, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I was away in Thailand and away in Philadelphia with them. You know, going to the Celtic supporters clubs, Q&As, myself and Alan Thompson, John Hartson, and I'm in Alan Thompson's book. He's just wrote a book there, and we've done a page on that. And just be part of it. And if I didn't score that goal against Rangers, I wouldn't have any part of it at all, because I would have been the forgotten man. But because that goal was scored against Rangers, people will always remember you. Yeah, they'll always remember you for that. No matter where you go in the world, you meet
You're
a
immortal now.
Yeah, well, yeah. Something like that,
yeah.
Really,
It's great. It's great. It's great.
I just want to ask you, like, so obviously, like, you went to Celtic, and look, obviously the old firms are, in my eyes, probably the biggest rivalry in football. Like, how does it feel playing them games? Like what is the feeling that you get before you're sitting in the dressing room before the game, your manager's hyping you up? Surely you're just working on pure adrenaline there, like it before that game, are you? Like,
yeah, you know, and I was hitting sort of like the people in Glasgow, Tommy Burns, Frank Connor, and Neil McCarthy. They always played me in the Celtic Rangers games because I played in 8 of them. I won. I scored twice, and I won 2 man of the matches in that short period against Rangers. So they thought I was the player for the big occasion, and in big games, Sporting Lisbon in Europe and stuff like that, they always seemed to pull me out and play me in those games because I was sort of fearless. And in my eyes, I know we were having a bad time, and I said this before we come on air, it made me a little bit selfish from my point of view, but I was loving it, even though the club were struggling, because I was a young lad coming from Dublin that, you know, living the dream.
Living the dream, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, living the dream, and probably a little bit selfish, but you know, I got a runners-up League Cup medal, and I got a Scottish Cup medal. And at the end of that year, I sort of knew that. And don't forget, when you're at Celtic at times like that, you know, fans are scrutinising on and off the field everything that you do. You know, making a silly mistake on the pitch. You know, you're a numpty, get him off. He's not Celtic class. But a couple of years on from that, when they're winning, you know, three leagues in the bounce and Scottish Cups and stuff like that, players are making mistakes, but they're getting away with it because they're winning trophies, they're winning games, and the mistakes don't matter. Yeah, but I just couldn't seem to get away from that. The club couldn't seem to get away from that. We were finishing second or third or fourth, maybe fifth sometimes in the league from Rangers. And it was a bad time. I think it's only in later in life that people actually realised in the 2.5 years I gave me all. I did what I did against Rangers. and I did what I did at a bad time. And they're starting to appreciate me now a little bit and bring me to the Q&As and asking what was it like in them days to play. And you know, so and it's good, and it's great to be part of.
Bit more respect, really, like, you know.
Yeah. And
it's like what you say. Like what you say, you know, what do you do after football? And these people have kept me going. People, you know, when you're really down and you're having these doubts about yourself, about coulda, shoulda, woulda type of things, and then you bump into a Celtic fan. He's like, "Oh, they're putting stuff up on your Facebook page, and you know, all like wee man." And it was the first time I was called wee man, by the way. Just used to call me fat fuck. So I just knew it was just a word that they used to recognise a man. They call you wee man, but I always knew I wasn't a wee man. But you know, when I first went to Celtic, I'll give you a story. When I first went to Celtic, I was looking around the change room, and Tom McStavey there, Charlie Nicholas, Frank McInvenny, Gary Gillespie, Tony Mowbray, Peter Grant, people like that. And I'm the little lad from Dublin, you know. I'm Jesus, like, you know. But I had a little bit of a taste of it because I came from Oxford, Steve Foster and the Ray Hountons and the John Lodge. So I wasn't really always starstruck everything, but I was looking around the season, and John Collins came in, and someone said to me, John Collins came in, he took his top off, and I swear to fuck, he had a body like Bruce Lee, right? You're thinking about 0 fucking fat or 3% or something. And I said to myself in my head, I want to be like him. So that was the image that I wanted, and that was I wanted to be able to play at the club, and that's get yourself right, you know, after being a fat fuck in Dublin for too long. So we're on a night out one time, and one of the lads goes, "Hey, John, what are you having to drink?" He said, "Gets a black hood and water." And I went, "Fuck that, I don't be like him anymore." So I start looking around for my next victim. So I think I ended up being like Frank McInvenny.
It was at that point where it all just.
It was at that point he was fucking gone. That was too good for me. Fuck that. Fuck off.
That was the point there where it just.
That was it. That was it. Barely spoke. I didn't even pass to him after that.
You skinny bastard, you fuck off.
just one of the things staying on the Celtic thing. Obviously, I was just saying about the old firms and stuff like that, but just living in like Glasgow at that time, like I'm just thinking that it's just obviously in the crowd you're getting pure fucking abuse from the Ranger fans. But when you leave that stadium and they see you on the street, was it much of that on the streets, or was it just kind of that's it? They leave it in the stadium, or were you getting a little bit of abuse outside the football? Like,
yeah, of course you would. Yeah, you know, you have the old a few Egypts, as you say. Die-hard Rangers fans that would give you that bit of stick. But I sort of distanced myself from it. You know, we didn't really live in Glasgow. It was around Hamilton, Motherwell direction, sort of, you know, that type of way.
Yeah.
Travelled in. I used to travel in with a fella called Rudy Vata. Actually, his son is actually signed for Celtic now as well. Rudy Vata, he's the Albanian international. Yeah. And we used to carpool, me and Rudy. And you'd get your odd fool on the street, but as I said, I wouldn't change it for the world. A lot of people said it was such a bad time at the club, but I wasn't really seeing all these bad things, really. I knew the club was in trouble, but from a selfish point of view, I was playing in the biggest games against Rangers and scored goals.
Yeah, exactly. Paddy, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, I suppose turning away a little bit, looking at your, like, hindsight is a wonderful thing. Looking back at your career, if there was anything you could change in it, what would it be?
Well, I probably wouldn't have drank as much and saved more.
Yeah. Really? Okay. All right.
You know, as you said, as you hit at the start of the show there, you know, if you had people there to look after you properly, things could have been a lot different. But I think the biggest kick in the bollocks was as I said to you before, and I'll bring it up because it's a bitter pill to swallow, is the Mick McCarthy thing. You know, and then it used to make me sick. Now, Mick's a great man. Mick sticks, Mick's down. I used to say, oh, fuck off. Mick's not, you know, Mick this me bollocks, because I was so bitter and disappointed that he didn't give me that chance. And I never got the reason why he didn't give me the chance. And if he says I wasn't good enough playing in a Celtic team in Europe, you know, winning the Scottish Cup,
that makes sense. No.
12 stone 10, which is, I think I was that when I was born.
Yeah.
Stuff I can dream of. Congratulations, Mrs. Bourne. He's 12 stone 10. But
he has a point in his hand.
Yeah, with a point in his hand, yeah. And the Bummers. But the thing was that killed me. That if anybody ever asks me what sent you into that spiral, and it makes you not believe in yourself, and you're not good enough, and then you think to yourself, no matter what you do, you're never going to get that chance. So what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
And then it was the same thing then when I came back to try and do a bit of coaching and help young kids in Ireland. to give them my knowledge of the game. Forget about my knowledge off the field or what I did. You know, using your knowledge on the pitch with the young kids to give them a chance to fulfill their dream of being a professional footballer. I feel everything was just cut. Felt like my legs were just cut off and I couldn't move.
Yeah.
So
Why should the
support
kids
for you.
nearly suffer from like something else? Like, do you know what I mean? Like what? Like you can pass on that knowledge that maybe the difference in them making it or not making it. So yeah, so like that's it. Like they've kind of cut ties there, haven't they? Like,
Yeah, but it's just like these fucking idiots to go around and think that like, oh, Paul Byrne, he's this and he's that, and they probably never met you in their fucking life.
Yeah, your reputation precedes.
You know, people say, "Oh, you know such and such a yeah." Well, he told me he knows you. No such thing. I've never met the chap in my life, like, or never met her in my life, or whatever, like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But they always have an opinion of you because they hear some of their gobshite talking about you.
Yeah.
You know, my real friends know me what I'm like. You know, my real friends. And I've got probably a handful of real friends, if you know what I mean. So basically, that's the story of.
And did you said about, I suppose after that with the Mick McCarthy thing and that you went on a bit of a downward spiral. Was there any support there from the football community when you probably did need it most?
No. If I wasn't a strong character, I would have ended up in the Liffey.
Well, okay. Well,
if I wasn't as strong as I was, as in the person that I am, like when I first went away, I met a girl that was a little bit older than me and had a child before I met her. And then when I moved to Oxford, I had Curtis at 17, which is my son that played League of Ireland, which you know Curtis.
Yeah.
I was looking after 2 kids at the age of 17, but people didn't realise in the background exactly what I was doing. I was supplying a home for 2 kids, and I was only a kid myself.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of things that people don't know, and they think they know you, but they don't really know you. You know, they probably, oh look, he's pissed again. Sure, Paul Gascoigne was pissed. Paul McGrath was pissed. Yeah. We all like to drink at them particular times. But why tar and feather you when I'm nearly 50 in June and still think that you're 27 or 28? And you still got a lot to give in the community or a coaching role in any aspect of the country or any place in the country. But I've never had that opportunity, so I've just given up on it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a shame that people judge. You know, show me someone that's never made any mistakes, and I'll show you a lawyer, because we all do
of course.
You know?
Listen, I put the first to hold my hand up to say, you know, would I have done things different now? Of course I would have. But no, my luck. I would have, you know, the money that they're on in the Premiership today, I probably played 1 season, made 2 million and fucked off.
I'm taking off with 2 million though.
I would say, another 10 seasons to this, fuck that, I'll just take the 2 million and run.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I could have done that myself.
Good luck to you.
Sorry, Colly, I'll pass it over to you, mate.
Yeah, so just you mentioned them there, Curtis obviously playing League of Ireland. Like, how's things with him? Have you been involved much with him, or has he kind of gone off and that's kind of he's done his own thing, or have you been kind of obviously a massive influence on his career because look, it obviously runs in the family, but like what's kind of gone on with you and him there, like? Well,
the thing with Curtis is that Curtis has done the opposite to me.
Oh yeah, fair play, yeah.
Total opposite, you know, and he's always had his own mind on where he wants to go and what he wants to do. I felt it was a little bit fair during the League of Ireland, his League of Ireland career, really, because you have a lot of people out there that judge him on me, and which is very unfair a little bit, because people would have said like, oh, he's not as good as you or whatever. But I never really got involved in Curtis' career. He'd ask me for a bit of advice, what do you think, or things like that, and I'd say, yeah. I would never go and say, hey, you should have done this, or go to games. Oh, yeah, but I watch games on the telly or whatever, and I'll be kicking heavy balls, saying, oh, you should have done that pass or whatever. And then he just comes out with a wonder goal, like a half volley from 35 yards, or you know. And he's to be fair to him, he's done really well in League of Ireland. And he hasn't got I don't think he's got the respect that he should have got from certain clubs. He finished top goal scorer at Bows. He didn't get a new contract. Finished top goal scorer at Pats. Didn't get a new contract. And went to Dundalk, done quite well. And now he's got a full-time job. He's got his own family. And he's playing. He's just signed for Bray Cabinteely now under Pat Devlin. Yeah. And he's enjoying his football. And you can see that he's out there expressing himself. No pressure. There's none of this, oh, am I going to play this week? Am I going to play this week? He's going out. He's giving 100%. And he's enjoying his football. And the only way to play and be successful is if you're happy playing football. and enjoying yourself and enjoying the game. Coming off benches in the Celtic or in the League of Ireland top league, getting 15 minutes, going out and playing 25 minutes in the reserve. It's a lot of bollocks. Just you want to play at the highest level for as long as you can and play as many games as you can.
Yeah, exactly. So jumping off that, right, going back onto yourself. So obviously you actually had a decent spell at Southend. Ronnie Whelan, was it Ronnie Whelan that signed you?
Yeah, when you look at my career pattern, Mark Lawrenson managed me at Oxford.
Yeah.
You had Liam Brady that brought me to Celtic.
Yeah.
You had Ronnie Collins. You had Ronnie Whelan that brought me to Southend.
Yeah.
So I had a little Irish connection there along the way. So the boys obviously seen me training with them at the under-21s and being involved in Ireland squads like Ronnie, and brought me to Southend. And had great times at Southend. We Mike Marsh there as well. I came from Liverpool, Galatasaray. With good players. We done really well in our 4th season under Ronnie. Then we lost a couple of players, a couple of injuries, and got relegated the year after. And I was thinking to myself, I don't really want to be here going down the leagues. So I decided to come home and play League of Ireland.
So you went to Bows and then you came back to Bows. So did you feel like you had a certain connection with Bows? Was Bows would that be the team you consider your team? Like, because you made the return to them. So what was the connection there with them?
But look, I was born and bred in Bluebell in Chicor, and Pats is my hometown for years, and I was at Bows and done really well at Bows. And then Roddy didn't renew my contract at the end of 1 year. We had a bit of a disagreement towards the end of the cup final. We played at Talcott Park. It was a draw. We lost 1-0 to Bows. Shells, Nutty Fenlon got the winner. I think after that game, things were never the same between me and Roddy, and he basically didn't renew my contract the following season. So we ended up going to Philadelphia and playing in the MLS for the Hershey Wildcats. I was playing in the heat out there, 30, 40, 45, 50 degrees, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, sweating your bollocks off. I come back like Bobby Sands. And so I signed for Pats. And Roddy was at a couple of games and seen I'd lost all the weight and wanted to bring me back. And that's how I went back.
That's fucking it's mad. Like, even just the going over to America part of things. Like we see there, you went over. Was it Philadelphia Union? Was that just a summer? Was it that you were over there?
I played 3 months there.
3 months.
12 weeks. Yeah. And you're training in that heat. It was. But I went over a little bit tubby from League. Well, they would have thought I was a little bit tubby from League of Ireland. But when I got to the States, I think I was training about 5 weeks, and it flew off me. I was back flying again, loving the game. And then couldn't renew my visa. Came home, met Pat Dolan in the chipper. No, I met him. I met him in a cafe, and we had a chat, and basically I struck a deal with Pat, and we went on to win the League Cup that year. I think that was about quarter way through the season. And he actually put me on a FOSS course. He was paying me a few quid in the FOSS course and a few quid in the old brown envelope, but a bit of change in it, like years ago. I used to get years ago. Everybody will remember that played back then. I used to get coins of mine off Roddy. That's when I knew he was at the finding me.
Grushy.
I signed for Pats, and then one day he came into me and he goes, Paulie. He goes, we can't really afford your wages no more. We're going to have to find you a job. I went, a fucking job. I was only about 28 at the time. I said, I'm not fucking working. I said, I've still got a couple of years left. He goes, we can't afford you, Paulie. So I knew 2 weeks before that Roddy Collins was at the beginning of the year about going back to Bows. And I said, look, Pat, I said, if I find myself a club, would you let me go? He said, oh, yes, Paulie, we'd have to let you go. I said, well, that's good, Pat, because I'm going to Bows. So I left there. I went over and I signed for Roddy. Roddy put me on the bench against Galway, my first match back. And free kick, he says, right, you're on. And I went on and hit the free kick, and I scored my first kick of the ball back at Bows. It was great. We went on to win the league and win the cup, won the double that year. It was fantastic. It was great.
Some of them things you just can't write, can you? Like the return, like the dream return, like first kick of the fucking ball.
Yeah, and another story about Roddy as well. Like, when a couple of games after that, the old squeaky bum time, and you were actually going for the league, And I think it was Sligo or Waterford at home. One of the games anyway, 1-0 down. I goes on, gets to the byline, whips the ball back, 1-1. And then all of a sudden, then it gets to gets to the byline again, whips it across. We go 2-1 up. Well, he was only to put me on, and ball goes out for the throw in, and fucking I'm looking around and I see number 7, I see number 12 going up on the board. I'm saying to myself, what fucking number have I got me back there? And he goes, 12. And he fucking take me off. I don't believe it. I said, you take me off. He goes, go over here and sit down. I said, I looked at him and went, do you know what? You're the fucking first manager that's ever put me on and took me fucking off. I said, you're a joke. He didn't even look at me, and that was Roddy's way. He didn't even look at me. He went, sit down. And I went, fair enough. So that was the sort of love-hate relationship that me and Roddy had. But another story is that we were under a little bit of pressure the season before we went on and won the double. And I think it was Rovers out in Morton Stadium. We were 4-0 down. If Roddy lost the game, he was getting sacked. So no pressure. So we're 4-0 down at half time. It's fucking pissing down. My sleeves are down around, into the hands like this. So, yeah. We go in at half time and Roddy walks in. The old, when he fucking throws that Crombie up onto the hanger, someone's in it. And he didn't even look. He just threw it and it landed on the hanger. So he's going around the whole change room and he's going, you, fucking you. And he comes to A.B. John and says, see, fucking you. You're like fucking Bambi on ice. He goes, I'm going to change my boots now. He says, yeah, into your shoes and fuck off. You're going on. So I knew he was coming around to me. So he's going around this way. He was coming around to me. And I'm looking at the floor thinking, I'm not even going to fucking look up here. And he goes, and fucking you. I said, Roddy, listen. I said, listen, Roddy, before you start, I said, do you not hear what the Rovers fans are shouting? No, you fucking tell me what they're saying, Burnsy. You tell me. And I've gone, they're shouting, Polly Bones, boy, takes it up the arse. And he goes, what? He says, do you know what you fucking do? He says, close your curtains. And we all just pissed ourselves laughing, and we went out and won 6-4 and changed the whole season around.
I love it.
So that's a bit of Roddy. That's a bit of Roddy. Another game, we were going down to play the playoff. We were down and fucking going down to Cove, playing the playoff. He says, right, we're going to meet at the Bell, he says, about 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, 8 o'clock in the morning? Can't be the fucking 8 o'clock at night. He says, right, okay, so we're on the way down. We meet at the Bell, and all the cars pull in. They go onto the bus, we're on the way. He says, Rod, we're going to stop off halfway down. We're going to get yourself a couple of refreshments, bottle of water, banana, and all that. I was like, bottle of water and banana? All right. So all of a sudden, he goes into the queue. I'm in the queue. Fucking the deli is there. I walks over to the deli. I said to him, excuse me, look, give us a breakfast roll there. Give us 2 rashers, 2 sausages, black and white pudding, bit of red sauce, please, and an egg. So next of all, I got a tip on my shoulder. I'm looking around, and he goes, who's that for? I said, it's for me. He says, there is. He says, there is. Bollocks, he says, you want a match? He said, at 8 o'clock tonight. I said, Rod, the game's at 8 o'clock, man. That'd be well gone. He says, get the fuck. He says, seen him in the middle of the shop in the garage. But you know what? You can fucking pay for it. Fuck off then. So he grabs it. Everybody's back on the bus. He gives the roll to the bus driver, right? So the bus driver's happy as fucking Larry eating my fucking roll, by the way. He goes to fucking into Cove, and the bollocks is still, he's taking his last bite out of the roll. It was like a Vienna roll he was after giving him. He was still eating it all the way down. That was just Roddy. That was just Roddy. And the characters like that are gone out of the game now,
Yeah, it is it's a very kind of I suppose it's a generational thing. It's a very kind of sheltered the players are very sheltered now. Like they're not subject to any of that type of shit. Like it's just they can't accept it. I don't think you can speak to players the way that they used to. Like
my opinion on that is that in my day you drank whenever you want. I mean, some wonderful top class players.
Yeah.
Now you're robotic.
Yeah.
And some of the players who are not technically good enough are super fit.
Yeah.
Getting away with it because they've been looked after nutrition wise and all that. One of the skills was the players that I was, or Tony Sheridan, or other players that Nutchy Fenlon, or all those boys, Paulo Zam and all that. Yeah. But if we had their physiques when we were playing and fit as they are today, we could have been anything, But they're the skill for the times, and you know what? Good luck to the lads today, and I really, really enjoy watching some of the games and getting involved for it.
You see, there's so much invested in them now. There's so much money in it. It's unreal.
Full-time job. And not only that, you got to give the fans the entertainment for the money. They're going out working 5-6 days a week, they're buying season tickets and all that. And you feel now that you owe it to these people that are paying these, through the turnstiles and stuff like that, to pay your wages, and you feel that you owe them. And as I said, good luck to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to jump back to Ireland for a minute, because I suppose when you were in the squad with Jack Charlton in this country, it was green, white, and orange everywhere. It was Ireland mania. It was probably for international football, for the country. I suppose it lifted us up because it's probably all we had back then. You know what I mean? It was. What was it like for you and your family back then to be involved in that? I know you have a bitter taste with how you were treated in the Irish squad, but for your family, it must have been a very proud moment to even be involved with the Irish squad back then.
Yeah, it was great. It was great for me, and I was involved right up to the only thing I didn't do with the World Cup was going on the plane. When I was singing in the give her a lash, Jack, give her a lash. We were up at the Guinness Club, up in the Guinness grounds recording that. Like, part of that, I was on all the Centra coins and stuff. Like, you go in and buy fucking 10 of petrol, and you got my fucking face on a coin, like, that type of thing. So, as part of all of that, the big build up to the whole lot, and part of the 8 or 9 months leading up to the World Cup and stuff. And I was disappointed that I didn't go a little bit. You had Gary Kelly in the squad then, you Jason McAteer bursting through, you had Phil Babb bursting through, Owen Coyle, a few players like that were bursting through. And I was a little bit disappointed. Then I wasn't, and I had in my head, right, I'm after getting a taste for this. This is what I want. I want to make my debut for my country. I want to complete this 15, 16, 17, 18 youths, 21s, 23s, and get a full international cap.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do it. I will do it. When Jack finishes, I think he had said he was going to finish after that World Cup. I'm not too sure. I could be wrong, but I think Mick McCarthy came in after it. And then not even a... nothing. Not even a friendly to say, come and have a game. And obviously, you just missed out. You're disappointed. You just missed out on the World Cup. But you can show me how much you really want it. I was prepared, and I had in my head to do all of that. I can't.
Yeah. And what was Jack like, and I suppose the squad of players that you were playing with at the time? Were they a good group to be around?
Well, like the likes of Davy Lanyon, I would have known from Oxford, and Ray Houghton and John Aldridge. I would have known them lads from cleaning their boots over in Oxford since I was 13. So they were part of the senior squad. I was part of the 21s. Yeah. And once I broke into the first team squad, then you had Roy there. So I came through all the youth development games with Roy Keane and stuff like that. And and then obviously the younger players that were breaking through into the squad, Gary Kelly and stuff like that, we all had something common. We're all from Ireland. We're going away across the water, got chatting, became good friends and stuff like that. And it really gave me hope, gave me something to really look forward to and focus. And then when I didn't get picked, I even said to myself in my own head, why even put the effort into to play for Celtic or even want to play the game if you're not going to want to achieve the biggest goal in your life, in your career, is to represent your country.
Yeah.
It's kind of
so, I have to say, I know we talked about earlier about hindsight and things you've changed and all. Looking at your career before you came on the podcast today, I have to say, like, there's players that bite your left arm off, or to give you their left arm to have, the career that you've had and some of the achievements you've had. So I have to say, fair play to you. Like, you're delighted to have you on, and you've really had a good career and some great stories as well. Colly, on to you, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, just we're coming up towards the hour mark there, Paul. So we're kind of starting to wrap up now at the moment, but we do have a few quick fire questions that usually we'd throw out. So we just keep them short and sweet. You can go into if you have any good stories or anything like that related to any of the questions. You can jump into it. It's no problem. We're not in any rush anyway. But Paddy, you have the questions there as well, do you?
Yes.
Okay, right. So look, we'll do a round robin. I'll start off first there. I'll throw the first one out, and then Paddy will jump on to the next one then, right? So I have best player you've played with and against.
Well, obviously one of the best players I played with would be Paul McVeigh, the maestro at Glasgow Celtic Football Club. As a man, as a player, as a leader, what he meant at Celtic Football Club, and put me under his wing, and Yeah, I would say Paul McStay the best player I've probably ever played with.
And against
Gaza.
Who was that? Who was the player that like would he? Who would be the one player that you said to yourself, oh, fuck's sake, not him, and again, like you're coming up against him, like.
Well, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you now. In the Celtic and Rangers match in the derby, I was on the right and Brian Laudrup was on the left, and I fucking dreaded him.
Fucking what player?
Because he would turn you inside. You go one way. I think I fucking lost 2 kneecaps in them games. I think he turned me inside out that much. I thought it was a fucking tea bag.
What's your? I suppose. What do you look back most fondly on as a player? What your favorite moment as a player?
Well, represent my country at the levels that I did. Scoring the goal for Celtic and Rangers and giving joy to the Celtic fans, which I still owe them a lot today.
Yeah.
And just the family and friends that I have around me, and for me, that was staying strong when I did and when I really needed to, and coming out the other end of it without any help says a lot. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I don't want to be everybody's cup of tea. But if anybody ever needs to talk about mental health or wants me to do a couple of training sessions or coaching sessions for kids, I talk to the kids. I'm always free. Don't be afraid to hold back and ask me, because if I can do it, I'll do everything I can to help anybody achieve their dreams.
I'd say we'll probably fucking clip that and throw it up onto the Instagram page just so we can get that, just if anyone has missed it as well. So fair play for that one. Best manager you've had?
Ooh. I've had a few, you know.
Tough one, yeah. I was just gonna say, you've had a few good ones, like.
I've had more clubs than Jack Nicklaus, as they say. Best manager I probably would have had would have been Liam Brady.
Yeah.
You know, I lived with Liam for 6 months, lads. That was part of the deal, that I had to live with him for 6 months to lose all my weight. Right. He'd be sitting there eating chips and I'd be eating salads.
He must be a bad cook, is he?
Yeah, well, I won't say that because his wife done all the cooking. I don't know what she can cook. I can't cook because I always got fucking salads anyway.
We was out with the rabbits out the back, huh?
I thought I was living in a hut.
Okay, so the biggest joker you know in football.
Yeah. Look, I've met a few, you know, like the Paul Mason at Arsenal would have been, Gaza would have been another one, Ali McCoist, Frank McAvenny. Actually, if you ever met Frank, you'd love it. He's a dream. He's a dream. Yeah. He's a top man. He's a dream. Great fella. John Hartson, great fella. Comes to see me over here regularly. Maybe not just to see me. He comes over to do a few games for Premier Sports, and he's got a call in, he wants to be up and stuff. But he still makes the call, and you know, the way I look at it is, if I'm good enough to be around people like that, good company. So what more do you need?
Exactly. Absolutely.
Well, look, John Hartson's not where we are if he wants to come on the podcast.
I can speak to John. Come here, and he is open to things like that. And I would speak to John. I was meant to, you know, see him this Saturday. I won't see him this Saturday. He's coming off to the United game at Premier Sport, but I will speak to him on the phone. I will mention it to him. I'll ask Alan Thompson. He's trying to get his book out there at the moment as well. He might come on and talk about his book. But I'll pop the question to some of the lads. And if you do, I'll throw them your way.
Deadly, yeah, sounds good. Right, our last question of the quick four, and it's a controversial one. I don't know whether you're going to give me a straight answer on this one. Messi or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
Come on.
Ooh, controversial.
Ronaldo.
I'm Messi. He's Ronaldo. So
who do you support actually, or do you support?
But you know what? I think it's very unfair that we had the two of them in the times that we are in.
Yeah.
You know, you had Pele, you had Maradona. You know, in separate times. You know, you Georgie Best. And then all of a sudden, we coming up against these two wonderful, like we're talking about the Beppes and all these people lacing. They wouldn't lace these boys' boots, and they're talking, you know, Neymar and all these people. No, they don't come near to these two boys.
No,
but we're privileged to have seen what these two lads can do in the field.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Yeah, right. Well, look, Paul, we've landed on our hour mark there, so I want to say a massive thanks on behalf of myself and Paddy for coming on. It's been a pleasure talking to you. fucking really good stories there. So really appreciate you coming on. So cheers for coming on, all right?
No problem, boys, and anytime. And you know what? Good show. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Paul, thank you.
Right, so you can just hang on there for a sec, Paul, and we'll get us off this bullshit now that we're coming to the end of it. So look, I just want to say thanks to everybody that is watching. If you are watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're watching, make sure you follow us, make sure you subscribe, share it with your friends, because again, just get the word around. So we'll be back again next week. We have Larry Matney on Tuesday, and we may be having a podcast on Thursday as well with Shane McFall, who's played all over the world. So there's some good stuff to come in the next couple of weeks anyway. So thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you again next week.